Thank you for joining me. This short tutorial will show you how you will upload information for your assignments and submit the assignments. So in some cases, for your assignments, they are usually always underneath the assignment section here in all of the courses. They'll generally be in the same area. Each of them is a link to the assignment. Once you click on that link, you will, I need to change myself to showing you what it looks like from a student's point of view. There we go. So here is an assignment. It tells you when it is due, gives the criteria of what's being asked for in this assignment. If you continue to scroll down past the assignment instructions, usually you will see a grading rubric, or sometimes the points and everything are broken out in a table shown right here in the assignment. It'll also give you your status. This is the first attempt. So far, submission-wise, nothing has been turned in. Nothing would be graded if it's not turned in. The due date, and if it is past the due date, it would be alerting you so. Continue to keep scrolling to the bottom of the page, and you'll find the button to add a submission or make changes to something you'd already submitted. So with that, once you click on it, you have two different options here. One is a file submission. The other is online text. Let's start with online text. The online text box is a means to click right inside it, and this is where you can type in your answers. There we go. There are a few buttons across the top. If you click the top left one, it actually will open up more rows of buttons in order to change the font size if you want. You can make the font look different. You can make it look bold. You can center your type. That way you can format it differently. They're very similar to buttons that you would see on a Word document. But another important button here, because many of your assignments will be that you need to turn in work that you've had to do by hand, like sketching, like the sewing projects, the pattern making projects. And in each of those assignments, you need to be very aware of what pictures you need to take along the process of working on something so that you have the right things to turn in for the assessment of your skills. All right, across our top row here, you will see a button, kind of looks like a little tiny picture. Any of these buttons, if you hover your cursor over them for a few seconds, it will tell you what that button will do. Once I click on that button, I get a dialog box to go find the image I want to put in there. So click on the Find or Upload an Image. Now, if you are in your private files, it will show up like this. In this case, I need to actually go find an image that's not in my Course Connection private files. It's on this computer. So I go to Upload File. Right here, no attachment file has been chosen, so I can click here to choose my file. Now I'll get what I'm used to, my Finder interface box, and so that I can go find whatever I need to. Please make sure that you do keep your work organized. I suggest creating a folder for each of your classes, then putting work inside that folder. In this case, I have a picture over on the desktop that I will use. We'll just call that this one. And once I have selected the file, I can click Open. Gives me a chance to double check that is the file I want to put in. Now I'll use the Upload this file button. The computer will give me 2 more times to make sure that this is the file I want. Just takes it a moment to bring that over. Now, if you can see most of the picture within this little box, that's great. If it is really a large scale picture, we can change the appearance here. And in this case, it is a pretty large file. When there are 1,000 pixels, across, that's pretty big. Leave the constrained proportions checkmarked blue right there. That way I only have to change one of these dimensions and the computer will automatically adjust the other proportionately. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and upload this at about 400 pixels across. Like I said, I don't have to do that one. When I click Insert, there's the last double check. Are you sure you want to continue? And then it'll put the picture in there. This little button in the bottom right-hand row will actually let me go to a full-size screen. Once I put a picture in, if I click on that picture while I'm still in my editing mode, I can click and drag. Best to do it from the corner. If you do it from a side, you're going to distort the proportions of the picture. So do it from a corner. That way you can adjust it to make it larger or smaller if need be. Once you are done in the full screen text editing, use the toggle switch to go back down to a smaller one and you can save changes. Some assignments you just need to type directly into the online text. Other assignments may have the file submission box and allow you to click and add a file. It's very similar to the same thing as inserting a photograph. You would choose a file, go to finding whichever file you want to put in here. In this case, again, I can add a picture as a file rather than insert a picture into the box. So this way, if you had multiple files or Word document files, pages files, spreads files, sheets, and so on. There we go. So a file is available in that dialog box. File submissions. Online text allows you to type directly in and insert pictures. When you are done, save your changes. But you are not done with the assignment just yet. Once you save your changes, you're still in a draft mode, meaning you can go back in and add more, make more changes. That way, if you're not completely done with an assignment, you can continue working on it. When you are finished, then you need to scroll to the very bottom and click Submit Assignment. That then alerts your instructor that you are done with the assignment. So you would click Submit. It asks you one more time, are you sure? And you can say, continue to say yes. Now you can see your submission status is submitted for grading, and then your instructor will know your work has been turned in and will go ahead and grade it, and you'll have your feedback. Always check back on assignments. You will have feedback showing somewhere along these lines here for you to review and be able to know what you've done right and if there's anything that you could do better in the future. It helps you out there. So that is it for turning in an assignment. One other thing I will show you, let me go back to the course. If you're on the Mac, to get a picture, perhaps, if you take it with a cell phone, you can email the picture to yourself, then download that file, keep it in a folder that you know where your assignments are. It's a good idea to label your pictures, what they are for the assignment. That way it's easy to identify them. Also, you may need to take a screenshot of what's on your screen. So to do that with a Mac, you would hold down your Shift key, your Command key, and then the number 4 key all together. And you'll get these little crosshairs. When you click, hold, and drag, you can see you can capture what you need to on the screen. And hopefully you heard that little shutter sound for taking a picture. What then happens is that the computer will automatically add that screenshot to your desktop. You can click on the name for screenshot. It's the date of when you took it, but then you can rename that file as to whatever it may need to be. I usually recommend identifying the assignment and then your name in the file, because when you turn in photographs and files, If I start downloading them and every student just called it the assignment, I would not know whose is whose. So you need to make sure you name your work so you get fair credit for it. That is it. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact your instructor and let them know your questions.